Business Partner B2 Coursebook, published by Pearson. Copyright Pearson Education Limited, 2018. Unit 1, Recording 1.
Is that coffee?
Yes, it is. You want some?
Yes, thanks.
Here you go.
Thank you. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sue from the London office.
Martin Kabatnik, from Germany. This is Angela.
Hello.
And where are you from, Angela?
Portugal.
Are you based in the Lisbon office?
No, Porto.
So do you both work in local finance teams?
Yes, for 1 year.
Yes, finance. 1 year.
Oh, really? Me too. I joined the company last year. So how have you found it so far?
Well, it's certainly been a learning curve. In such a big company, there are so many different systems, and every team seems to have its own way of doing things, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I have to say, in general, people have been pretty supportive and patient while I've been getting up to speed.
Yes, same for me, actually.
So I guess we'll all be together in the finance part of the meeting this afternoon. Should be interesting, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, I think we're going to start soon. I'll talk to you later. I just want to meet a few of the others quickly. It's important to say hello. See you later.
Unit 1, Recording 2.
So, to start, could you all say a few words about yourself as a short personal presentation to the team? Who wants to begin?
Sure, I'm happy to start. I'm Sue Jacobs and based in the London office. I've worked in this industry for 10 years now. I was with a competitor for many years, and then I joined Hanson's at the beginning of last year. My background is in finance. My current job is head of financial controlling in the UK, and I report to Mike Keats, who's the head of group finance. I've worked a lot on international projects, which is why I'm here, full-time on the project. I'm really delighted to be part of this team and think we can achieve a lot in this project. It's important to create a common platform for finance across Europe. Happy to be here.
Thanks, Sue. Angela?
Okay, Angela from Porto. Been in the company a short time. I am only 50% on the project with my colleague who is not here. And also finance, yes.
Okay. Martin?
Martin Kabatnik. I'm head of finance in Germany and will work on the project 20%. I studied finance in Berlin, so worked in finance all my life. I agree. I think this is an important project for the company.
Okay, so can we now hear a little from
Unit 1, Recording 3.
Okay, Angela, lovely to meet you today. Really looking forward to working with you.
The same for me. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, and I really liked what you said about your approach to projects in Portugal. Can you send me the slides you used in the afternoon?
Sure. I have your card.
Great. And Martin, also very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
If you do need any help with tickets for the theater in London, just let me know. I can help.
I will be in touch, I promise.
Okay, bye. See you next month. And I'll bring some tea for you from London. Only the best.
Don't forget.
Unit 2, Recording 1.
Welcome to Brazil, Mike. I hope you are settling in comfortably.
Thanks, it's great being here. I'm still waking up very early, but I guess that's just the time difference.
Yes, I have the same problem when I travel. Has everyone been helpful so far?
Yes, they have, and I appreciate it. This is my first trip here, so everything is new.
I know the feeling. So tell me what I can do to help you.
Okay. Well, as I think you know, I've been asked to start work on a global strategy for training and development across the whole company. It's a big initiative, and I want it to be based on best practices that are already in place. Every country has a different approach at the moment, so I'm visiting our biggest sites to find out more about the different approaches and if there's anything that ought to be done that we are not doing at the moment. I'm starting here in Brazil, and then I'll be heading to Asia on Wednesday.
Okay, well, the way we do things here works well for us. I'm very happy to talk about it.
Great. So, let me check. Are you the HR director for all of Brazil or just for this plant?
I'm actually in charge of all the HR departments throughout the country. We feel it's important to have one strategy for both long-term and short-term goals regarding training and development.
Thanks. That clarifies that for me. I'm really interested in your input on both training and development and what you consider to be the main differences between them.
Training for us means looking at areas specific to a job. It's a functional approach, meaning it's used in one job or department. These training sessions are used to make sure that employees have the skills they need to do their job. These types of courses are job or task-oriented with short-term goals.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. If we hire a newly graduated engineer to work with suppliers, we may have to give him or her some specialized training on AutoCAD drawing programs. The supplier might ask how a part could be improved, so the engineer has to be taught how to use these 3D computer programs or be brought up to date on the latest version.
Of course, that makes sense. But what about deciding whether a large group should be trained or just a few people? How is that done?
Training a small group versus a larger group is a strategic decision every company has to make. This would be considered carefully as it depends on the available budget. We might want to train a large group, but the budget doesn't provide for this, so smaller groups may be less costly. We, of course, look carefully at who exactly needs the skill in question for their role.
That's clear. And what other factors have to be taken into account?
Well, there are often materials that need to be handed out, so they have to be prepared in advance. It also has to be decided where the training should be held and who the trainer should be. We have to consider if it's better to do this in-house with one of our own employees or rent a space outside and bring in an expert from the field. It may also be possible to do a form of blended learning, some of it online and some of it with a trainer or a mentor. There are lots of possibilities now.
So, in general, you're in favour of this type of job-oriented training on skills?
Absolutely. I would say that specific skill training is always seen as worthwhile. Whether it's skill training for a new program or new equipment, I believe it's valuable. It's also important for the organization that the training be successful. I guess I would say that skill training is pretty cost-effective.
And general development of staff?
Okay, now that's another story. When we look at development in business theory and skills that can be used across departments, it may only be beneficial if the trainee has the proper mindset for growth. It mustn't be decided without thinking carefully about a number of aspects first. Development is an important part of company strategy and long-term goals.
I'm not sure I follow you.
Let me give you an example. If we take an experienced manager and give them training on how to provide motivation for their staff, that may not be worthwhile because this person almost certainly has the skills to do their job already. Training for a young and inexperienced manager, however, might be very helpful as development deals with preparing employees for future challenges and fits well into our long-term goals of developing talent. It's also a cross-functional approach, meaning that we might develop someone who is currently in one department with the idea that the person might be moved to another department if we needed to replace a manager for any reason.
So what you're saying is that development is really helping employees gain general business skills or concepts they can use elsewhere in the company and for their future careers. Did I understand that correctly?
Exactly right. And we still have the option of using the same methods of delivery as we have for training, namely in-house courses and blended learning, mentoring, or finding an external trainer. The difference would only be in content.
And how do you decide then who gets training and who gets developed?
That depends on who needs to be developed and how this will help the company. In the end, we need to make sure that the subject matter is relevant to their level of experience and knowledge.
Okay. Thanks so much, Teresa. That's clarified quite a few things for me, and I've made a note of everything you said. If I have any follow-up questions after I get back, I'll get in touch.
Unit 2, Recording 2. 1.
These training sessions are used to make sure
2.
the supplier might ask how a part could be improved, so
3.
this will be considered carefully.
4.
And what other factors have to be taken into account?
5.
Specific skill training is always seen as worthwhile.
6.
It mustn't be decided without thinking carefully.
Unit 2, Recording 3.
I've worked a lot with teams in my professional life, and there are a lot of problems caused by different approaches to teamwork. In the end, I think there are two very different team cultures. One is more focused on the individual, each person having a clear and specific role and place in the team. This is team culture A. People like this because it's, clear roles. People know what they have to do and what the other does, and then they communicate like this. They have clear personal objectives. They make clear recommendations to the team based on their expertise. Simple. And there's a leader role who can confirm any final decision. For team culture B, this isn't actually a team. What this culture values is interaction and collaboration, working together to offer and share ideas, to have a lot of discussions and take creative decisions. In these teams, roles overlap with each other. There are no clear borders for roles, lots of discussion. And you see no separate leader role. Yes, of course there is a leader. But shared leadership is more important to have a culture where everyone is responsible for the final decision. Which is better? Well, that is a whole other question. All I will say is that people often have very strong beliefs about this, which can make it difficult for people from these different cultures to work together.
Unit 2, Recording 4.
Okay, let's get started. So, just to confirm, we have Sam and Paula here in the room, and Steve joining from the USA. As you know, what we are looking to do here today is to decide how to digitalize the training and learning we do in the company. Moving away from traditional classroom training, which still dominates the way we do learning here, this means finding ways to bring in new technologies to become more flexible and more efficient and effective in the way we do learning. Now, you all had the task of preparing a few ideas based on your country needs. Just to ensure everyone can say something, can we quickly go around the table and hear everyone one by one and then discuss?
Fine.
No problem. Takashi, can we talk about budget, as I really think this has a massive impact on what we can and can't do?
Sam, I agree budget is really important, but I want to come to that a little later. I really want to focus on hearing the country presentations and getting a clear picture of the needs we have in the countries first. Then we can think about the budget constraints.
Okay.
Great. Just to say, we have Steve dialing in today, but as we discuss things, it's important for everyone to speak up, give your ideas and get involved. I really want us to share the facilitation so everybody step in, clarify, summarize. This is a team meeting.
Okay, no problem.
Great. Well, let's begin with you then, Steve. Can you kick us off with...
Unit 2, Recording 5.
Thanks for that, Paula. So, we've now heard from everyone on their country needs. Where does that leave us in terms of next steps? Anyone got any thoughts on this?
Listening to what people have been saying, it seems that there's a consensus to reduce spending on soft skills training, that technical training is the main demand from the company.
What do you mean by that? Which soft skills?
I guess it's the usual things like presentation skills, negotiation skills, time management and all that. Probably some of the leadership training too we could push to e-learning and save money.
Steve here. If I can just come in on that. I actually really disagree, particularly on the leadership side of things and e-learning. Of course, people always look at technical training as the priority, but I think it's our job to defend soft skills and leadership. And I really don't think it's the training to digitalize. It needs a classroom situation so people can reflect and experience things together. If we do change, we need to be very careful. Sorry, I don't want to be negative, but I really feel strongly about that.
No, thanks, Steve. Feel free to say what you really think, because it'll help us to be creative. How do others feel about this? Paula, you have some experience of developing e-learning leadership training from your last company. What do you think?
Actually, we had an effective blended solution with a mix of e-learning and classroom training. But in that case, we were able to implement it carefully over several years to create a learning culture where that worked. We don't have that here. People expect classroom training and don't want e-learning.
Okay, so that's important. So just to recap everything, Sam, you feel we have an opportunity to move to more e-learning.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, you are skeptical. Paula, you have seen this work in your previous company, but it needs to be done carefully. So, listening to you all, I think we actually agree that there are good options for change here, but there are still a lot of details to work out, and we need to be careful how we do things. Perhaps the next step would be to look carefully at some of the risks of using e-learning in soft skills and...
Unit 2, Recording 6.
So what we're doing in my area is to hold in-depth discussions with heads of all departments to gauge their response to e-learning. As I said, this is really important because it helps us to understand...
Sam, can I stop you there? Buy-in from department heads is definitely important, but I'm afraid time is pressing and we need to come to a decision on next steps so we can move forward. I realize that we still have different views on some points, so Sam and Steve... My proposal would be that you two work together on this for the next few weeks and come up with a plan on how we move forward. I think with more thinking, we can take a final decision. Sam, how does that sound to you?
I agree.
Fine with me.
Great. Sorry, but I need to rush to my next call. Thanks very much for this. I think we have made really good progress. I'll email around some possible timings for the next meeting very soon. And also, thanks to all of you for being so proactive and sharing the facilitation. As I said at the beginning, it makes a big difference if everyone steps in and clarifies, summarizes, and so on. And it really helped me and the discussion a lot this time. Good stuff.
Great.
Fine.
Thanks. Speak to you soon.
Unit 3, Recording 1.
Hello, Pat speaking.
Hi, Pat. It's Sam calling. I'm just looking at what I need to prepare for the test next week, and I was wondering if you could help me with a couple of things, because you know more about this area.
Sure, no problem.
I'm having a little difficulty understanding the concept of overall strategy and would like to understand it better. This is all new to me.
Oh, okay. How can I help?
Well, There are a couple of things I'd like to clarify regarding specific figures in a financial forecast. When I better understand them, I'm sure I'll be able to get the bigger picture too. I've emailed you the file that I'm trying to make sense of.
Okay, well, I'm happy to help. And perhaps I can send you a couple of printouts that I have with a list of words and expressions used in finance.
Okay, great, thanks. Can I talk you through the points I'm unsure of?
Sure. I've just downloaded the attachment you sent me.
Unit 3, Recording 2.
Right, I've got it open. Where should we start?
Well, can you look at the section on the top right? Specifically, the total projected sales figures for each product line and each quarter.
Right.
I'm looking at column J. Are those figures gross or net?
They're gross. They're the total revenue you expect to get from each product.
Okay, thanks. And tell me, what exactly do the figures in column L refer to? What's EBIT?
They're the margins on each product line.
Sorry, I don't follow. What are margins?
Margins show us how profitable the various product lines are. We calculate that by subtracting the operating costs from the revenue to get the operating profit. The operating profit is our margin.
I see.
We often use the term EBIT when thinking about the operating profit. It stands for Earnings Before Interest and Taxes.
Thanks. I've heard that before when people are talking about finance, sales and profits. Also, I don't know if my notes from the lecture are right. I wrote down that the figures in row 48 are averages. Is that correct?
Yes, you're right. They're averages of all the products in each category, A, B and C.
Can you go over that again for me?
Sure. So, for example, we add up the projected revenue from the 6 products in category A and then divide that number by 6. That gives us the average revenue for each product in that category.
So you mean that you get the averages to see how profitable, on average, that overall category is?
Yes, that's it.
And if I remember correctly, I think we use the combined totals in each category to see where we should concentrate our sales effort. Is that right?
Exactly.
Unit 3, Recording 3.
Thanks for your help, Pat. It's been really useful to speak to you. I often find it difficult to keep up with all the terminology. There's so much of it.
Would you like me to share with you a glossary of standard terms for you to use as a reference? I'll send you the link.
Yes, that would be great. But can I not find it in one of the books I'm reading?
No, this is my own live glossary that I have been developing since I was in your year.
Really? What do you mean by live?
Oh, when I say live, I mean that it's cloud-based. I share it with my study group so that they can update it too. Of course, we now know what words like margins mean, but we haven't deleted them from the glossary. Everything you are learning about now is still in there.
Oh, thank you, Pat. That's really kind of you.
Unit 4, Recording 1.
The Multi-Babel app translates your conversations in real time. The Multi-Babel app is great if you want to network at conferences with people who don't speak your language, if you need to have business conversations, or if you want to socialize with people of different nationalities. Forget about spending hours on learning grammar. If you wear these wireless earphones, which are connected to the app, you'll be able to understand instantly with simultaneous translation using voice recognition. If you click here, you'll see all the language options. At the moment, we have English, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, French, and Cantonese Chinese. But later this year, we'll also be offering Arabic, Hindi, Japanese, Korean, German, Polish, and Russian. Unless you use it through the earphones, everyone else will be able to hear your conversation. But if you use the mute function, you can hear the translation through your earphones, not the speaker. There is also another neat feature if you make a mistake. Here, you can pause it, and it won't translate the words that you said in the last 3 seconds. It's extremely useful if you accidentally say the wrong figure or when you get a new client's name wrong. Cool, isn't it? You're probably wondering, all this is great, but how much will it cost me? The Multibabel app with earphones retails at only €250. But we're offering a special promotion this week for all participants at the trade show. You can purchase 3 apps with headsets for the price of 2. Earphones are available in a range of colors: black, white, blue, purple, and red. This app is really best used for one-to-one conversations. It isn't suitable for meetings with lots of people. However, I would recommend it for networking, daily conversations, and smaller meetings. When you've tried it, you won't be able to live without it. And you'll want to get one for all your family and friends. I'm sure they won't be disappointed. The technology is changing so fast, we'll be able to offer you more languages and faster translations next year with the help of more advanced voice recognition, sensor technology, and improved artificial intelligence. Let me just add that the whole process is done remotely in the cloud, so it doesn't slow down your device. But you do need to be online. Who would like to try it? Any volunteers? Oh, yes, you, madam. Can you put on these earphones? Here, that's right. What's your name?
Jimena.
What nationality are you, Jimena?
Española.
Right. Let's choose Spanish English then. I'll turn the mute function off so that everyone can hear. I promise you'll be amazed. Start talking when you hear the beep, okay?
¿Qué tengo que hacer?
What do I have to do?
¡Qué maravilloso!
How marvelous.
Quiero 3.
I want 3 of them.
Unit 4, Recording 2.
So, what's new with our smartphones? At Dawnbreakers, we've developed a phone that's way smarter than any phone anywhere, combining the latest artificial intelligence, voice recognition technology, and the ultimate digital personal assistant. But more of that later. Since our last smartphone model, I'm pleased to tell you that we've upgraded pretty much everything. We've improved connectivity, we've upgraded the camera, and increased the pixel count. If you've seen the new screen, you'll notice it goes to the very edge of the phone. And of course, if it didn't have high-definition screen resolution, we wouldn't see video images so clearly. What else? We're currently developing the remote control function for interconnected home devices. This means you'll be able to operate all your home devices, from your lights to the air conditioning, using your phone. And next year, we'll be supporting more virtual reality content with wearables. So, if I were wearing goggles now, I could see the images in virtual reality. We're also going to be adding an improved priority function. At the moment, unless I prioritize events carefully, the assistant overrides my work schedule with my social engagements. My boss might not be very pleased if he found out about that. We're already making smartphones more like robots. Let me show you a demonstration of how. My new personal assistant can help me with booking appointments and managing my schedule. Some of you will remember our demonstration last year with a prototype of the digital personal assistant. Since then, I'm very pleased to announce we've improved battery life for voice recognition to work more effectively. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present my assistant, Chris. Say hello to everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris, Eamon's digital personal assistant.
Chris, you can help me with a number of tasks, can't you?
That's correct, Eamon.
Just give us 3 examples, please.
I can search for stuff on the internet. If you like, I can control your home devices remotely, and I can remind you of important meetings or birthdays.
So, when's the next birthday I need to remember, Chris?
Oh, that's easy. It's yours. Next week, on the 8th of March.
I'd like to celebrate that. What about an Italian restaurant in Dublin for Wednesday, the 8th of March at 7 p.m.?
Okay, that's the 8th of March at 7 p.m. For how many people, Eamon?
A table for 6.
Searching for you now. I've just found 5 options within 30 minutes from you. Let me know which one you prefer and I'll book a table.
Great, thanks. I'll let you know when I finish the presentation.
Sure. At 12:15.
You can take a break now. Thanks.
Thanks. I will.
Unit 4. Optional Extension Activity. Recording 1. 1.
You'll be able to understand instantly with simultaneous translation using voice recognition.
2.
You can pause it, and it won't translate the words that you said in the last 3 seconds.
3.
You can purchase 3 apps with headsets for the price of 2.
4.
Earphones are available in a range of colors.
5.
The whole process is done remotely in the cloud.
6.
We've developed a phone that's way smarter than any phone anywhere.
7.
You'll be able to operate all your home devices, from your lights to the air conditioning, using your phone.
8.
Next year, we'll be supporting more virtual reality content with wearables.
9.
If you like, I can control your home devices remotely.
10.
Let me know which one you prefer and I'll book a table.
Unit 4. Recording 3. 1.
The Multi-Babel app is great if you want to network at conferences.
2.
Unless you use it through the earphones, everyone else will be able to hear your conversation.
3.
If it didn't have high-definition screen resolution, we wouldn't see video images so clearly.
Unit 4. Recording 4. A.
Hi, Isabella. You wanted to see me? What's up?
Hi, Mandy. Well, I'm not happy about this new policy of not being able to access our work emails after 8 p.m.
Uh-huh.
We're a digital agency with clients all over the world. It's simply not reasonable to expect me to do my job and then limit me like this. I have to be able to access my emails in the evenings.
Okay, hold on a moment, Isabella. You have to understand that the company policy is for everyone. This new system has been put in place for the benefit of the employees. There's an unhealthy culture of people still working electronically long after they have left the office and sometimes into the night.
Yes, but for some of us it's necessary, especially when our customers are on different continents.
The servers are now holding incoming and outgoing emails after 8 p.m. until the following morning. You need to unlock my emails in the evenings.
Yes, but can't you just send your outgoing mails before you leave the office around 6 p.m. and then reply the next morning to any that come in during the night?
I can, but I need to leave earlier than 6 p.m. every day, and it also means I lose a day when communicating with some of our clients.
Okay.
And it also means my inbox is already filling up by 8 a.m. each morning.
I see.
I need you to get the IT team to lift that blockage on my account. This change has to happen if you still want me to manage our customers.
Well, hold on a moment. Let's think about how to manage this and find a way that works for you while still ensuring you have a healthy work-life balance.
Well, you know I have small kids, and it's important for me to have dinner with them and put them to bed every day. That's why I leave at 5 p.m. I don't mind if I then have to work from home for a few hours in the evenings.
Okay, I understand that. But I can't completely lift the blockage for you. You don't need to be emailing through the night, right?
No, I don't, but I do need some flexibility and to be able to access my emails after 8 p.m.
How about if we lift the blockage until 10 p.m.? Would that work?
Yes, I suppose I can agree to that, but it still limits me a bit. Oh, and I need access to our virtual meeting software from home in the evenings too, but I'm happy to also limit that to 10 p.m. if I have to.
Unit 4, Recording 5. B.
Hi, Daniel. You wanted to see me? What's up?
Hi, Barbara. Well, I'm not happy about this new policy of not being able to access our work emails after 8 p.m.
I see. Let me make sure I fully understand your perspective. Firstly, tell me about how this situation affects you.
Well, I have many clients in other continents, and we often need to communicate in the evenings. Why was it introduced in the first place?
Well, you know this new system has been put in place for the benefit of the employees. There is an unhealthy culture of people still working electronically long after they have left the office, and sometimes into the night. It's a priority for us that our team has a good work-life balance. It's not specifically about the email block.
Okay, I understand that, but I don't work into the night, and I'm happy with the level of flexibility I usually have in my job. I have a good work-life balance.
Okay, well, what are your priorities?
Well, you know I have small kids, and it's important for me to have dinner with them and put them to bed every day. That's a key priority for me. That's why I leave at 5 p.m. every day. I don't mind if I then have to work from home for another hour or so in the evenings.
How would you feel about having an extension on email accessibility in the evening, but only for another hour or two? What do you think of that?
Well, the kids are in bed by 8 p.m., so it would be good to just have another hour or two in the evening to email and maybe have some virtual calls.
Yes, I think I can make that happen. But we should talk regularly about this. I don't want you to get snowed under or to be working too much at home in the evening.
It's okay. I'll let you know if I'm struggling. Thanks.
Unit 5, Recording 1.
So, as you can see from the agenda, what I want to do today is take time to think about how we are doing things. So, just generally speaking, what do you think about where things have gone well and where the problems were, and how to change things going forward? Starting with Hannah, tell us, from your side, personally speaking, or about the project, where have things gone well? What do you need to improve?
I think overall it's been good. I mean, in terms of my main success, I managed to complete the first 2 phases of my side of the project within budget. I had to be very careful with spending, but managed it. No extra resources were needed. I guess, as you all know, my big challenge was in the early phases with production. We had some real time and quality issues with our production in Poland.
Which aspects of the project were the most problematic exactly?
Well, speaking openly, the first designs I produced were not high quality. This led to production issues. We lost some time at the beginning. I got it right in the end with a rework of the design.
What was the main cause of this? Why were there design mistakes?
Good question. Unfortunately, the designs had mistakes because I tried to do things too quickly. I had too much to do and tried to do things too fast. And then the colleagues in Poland didn't see the problems until they produced prototypes. Yes, Antoni?
I think you're right.
They just worked with what I gave them. It got very messy. I should have planned more carefully. If I'd planned more carefully at the beginning, I could have produced a better design and avoided time delays.
But I don't understand. We are all experienced. We always work under time pressure.
I think I just underestimated the complexity.
So, how do we plan to do things differently next time?
Yes, I've talked to my team, and next time we will insist on having more time for the initial design stage, and ideally a prototype stage too. It will pay off.
Yes, this has actually been useful. We now know we need to give ourselves realistic deadlines.
Yes, sometimes slower is better.
Great. Okay, Antoni, how about you?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the next stage of it...
Unit 5, Recording 2.
Okay, maybe just before we wrap up, I'd like to hear your comments on successes, things that have gone well, what we can do more of. On the whole, it turned out to be a success, and I actually want to start here with a big thank you to Antoni for leading the production site so well. The production team has been amazing, so collaborative, and they've produced excellent quality and come up with quite a few design ideas.
Thank you, Carlotta.
Yes, I can echo that. Your team has been so proactive, Antoni. A pleasure to work with. Please keep it up.
We will. I'll pass on the feedback, and I'll invest the same time in positive collaboration in the future. Same from our side. It's been great that the design team has traveled so much to see us in Poland. Having you present face-to-face in meetings, that has really helped.
Yes, I think face-to-face always works better than working remotely. We have to thank our project sponsor, Gina, as she agreed quite a high travel budget. Without Gina, travel would have been very difficult in the current financial climate. So again, well done.
Unit 6, Recording 1.
Katrina Sands is the best-selling author of Essential Ethics, which features on the reading list of business degree courses around the world. She's also an ethics consultant to major corporations. Many thanks for being with us today, Katrina.
My pleasure, Richard.
I'd like to start by asking you to define a key concept in your book for our listeners. Can you tell us what is meant by the term triple bottom line?
Yes, the triple bottom line is essentially a framework, or structure if you like, for measuring how ethical an organization is in terms of three ideas: profits, people, and planet. The problem is that TBL is difficult to measure.
But we can measure profits, can't we?
Oh, that's right. Financial profits are obviously the easiest to measure. Typical ways include looking at concepts such as a company's income, its costs, growth, the taxes it pays, employees' income, and so on.
How about measuring ethics in terms of people?
Social measures include, for instance, the number of hours of training employees receive, equality and diversity in the workplace, say, the percentage of female workers. Then there's health and safety, but, and this is where things get complicated, there is also the general physical and psychological well-being of staff. For example, a human resources manager can count the number of days taken for sick leave, but it's more difficult to measure how healthy and happy employees are. Social measures in the TBL also extend to relationships with stakeholders, suppliers and partners, the local community, and anyone else who is affected by a company's activities. And beyond that, an organization can show its social integrity by organizing philanthropic activities.
I see. And what about the planet?
Well, environmental measures in ethics include company policy on things such as its energy consumption, the use of natural resources like water, waste management, as well as carbon emissions and the impact of a company's carbon footprint.
which is...
By carbon footprint, I mean the overall impact of a business on the environment. Of course, many of these different measures are connected. To give you an example of profits and planet, by reducing packaging, you can also reduce costs. So that's a measure that's good for the environment and good for profits.
Unit 6, Recording 2.
What kind of companies can use the TBL model? Are we really talking here about the big multinationals?
Businesses, nonprofit, and government organizations can all use the TBL model. But we need to take into account all three categories: financial, social, and environmental. All three areas need to be integrated.
So, could you give us a few examples of companies that are considered ethical?
Sure. There's Natura Cosméticos, which sells cosmetics and personal care products and has been in the list of the world's most ethical companies since 2011. It is the only Brazilian company this year and one of the few companies in the health and beauty industry.
I've read that Natura was awarded a certificate for sustainability. How exactly has it been ethical?
There were a variety of reasons. In financial terms, 3% of company profits at Natura were invested back into the communities. Over 75% of employees participated in the company's profit-sharing program. Natura also produces an annual report that is reviewed by a third party and is available to the public, so it's transparent about its profits.
Could you give us an example of its ethical conduct regarding people?
Sure. Let me see. Well, more than 50% of Natura's managers are women. They would have had inequality in the workplace if Natura hadn't taken on female managers, and there wouldn't have been diversity in the organization.
And how can we measure what is considered ethical conduct where the planet is concerned?
Many of Natura's products are based on natural ingredients, indigenous Brazilian vegetables and fruits, such as passion fruit, that are produced by farmers in small communities. In addition, Natura gives details on its energy consumption, water use, and waste production. Those are just some examples.
It's interesting to see that some companies have appeared in the world's ethical companies list every year. I see these include General Electric, PepsiCo, Starbucks, UPS, Xerox, and Kao Corporation. The Japanese company Kao has received recognition for being in the world's most ethical companies list for well over a decade.
That's right.
I'd like to know why you think the Kao Corporation has been on the list for so long.
For a number of reasons. Kao specializes mainly in beauty and healthcare products, but the group also has two other businesses, home care products and chemicals. What's interesting is that its CEO has said that integrity is a core value of the company. The Kao Way is not just a philosophy. It is supported by a sustainability statement which focuses on three specific areas: conservation, community, and culture. If they hadn't developed the Kao Way, they might not have been listed as one of the world's most ethical companies. Kao has not only been recognized for its contribution to preserving the environment, but also for promoting diversity and for getting involved in social issues. For instance, their employees do voluntary work in local communities. You could argue Kao could have had a good relationship with local people if they had simply donated money to the community, but in this case, employees got involved directly.
But Kao and Natura are both big multinationals, aren't they? Can you give us an example of a smaller organization that isn't top of the list, but is an ethical company?
Well, I'd like to mention a cooperative called La Fajeda, a company that produces dairy products and is based in Catalonia, Spain. They employ staff with mental health problems. In La Fajeda, at least 70% of positions are held by people with disabilities. So it's a good example of social integration and diversity in the workplace. What's more, they source their own milk, in contrast with the big multinationals. At first, they distributed their yogurts through hospitals and schools. Then they moved to the general food market and became commercially successful. But this kind of success poses a dilemma. It's the same dilemma for any responsible business. Will they be able to manage growth without endangering their commitment to their users and customers? And we can also ask a similar question about a company's past. If they had grown faster, would they still have been a responsible business?
Unit 6, Recording 3.
It's fascinating to hear about all the good stuff that companies are doing in terms of ethics. Nevertheless, isn't it extremely difficult to measure the triple bottom line?
It is certainly difficult to measure how an organization affects the planet and people in the same terms as profits. The full cost of an oil disaster, for example, is huge and immeasurable in terms of money. However, Richard, to give you some more examples, if multinationals hadn't cleared huge areas of forests in the Amazon, they wouldn't have moved whole communities from their homes, and we could have slowed down the effects of climate change. If clothing manufacturers hadn't used child labor in sweatshops, those children could have continued with their education instead of working in factories. It's totally impossible to put a price on these kinds of things. On balance, though, the TBL has fundamentally changed the way organizations measure performance and sustainability. It's in everyone's interest for companies to be ethical, transparent, and socially responsible. Customers, employees, shareholders, and the public expect it. And generally speaking, successful companies nowadays are looking further than just making a profit.
Okay. Many thanks, Katrina. And we'll be back next week to discuss another business issue.
Unit 6, Recording 4. 1.
They would have had inequality in the workplace if Natra hadn't taken on female managers.
2.
If they hadn't developed the Cow Way, they might not have been listed as one of the world's most ethical companies.
3.
Cow could have had a good relationship with local people if they had simply donated money to the community.
4.
If they had grown faster, would they still have been a responsible business?
Unit 6, Recording 5.
Hello, having fun?
There are a lot of people, but it's interesting, yes.
Luigi Moretti from Romtech.
Caroline Macklin Tours.
Macklin Tours? I know the name. You've been in business for over a year now, haven't you?
Very good, I'm impressed. Yes, we set up just 18 months ago.
I've heard great things about you. You have a good reputation.
Thank you. But what do you do exactly?
We specialize in software solutions for small and medium-sized companies. Our expertise is in providing the correct support for each client. Which systems are you using at the moment?
Oh, for now, we just use the standard spreadsheet and database software we could download for free. But they're not great, really.
I can imagine. Our solutions enable you to manage and communicate with clients more effectively. So basically, what we offer is better relationships and more sales, which I think everyone wants. Would you like me to talk through what we have?
Yes, thank you. Maybe this is something we need to look at now that we're growing.
Sure. Shall we grab a coffee first?
Good idea. I think there is somewhere over there where we can go and get some...
Unit 6, Recording 6.
So, tell me a bit more about this software and how it could help us.
Okay, basically it's software that we install on your company computers, but host remotely on our server, which helps you to organize and store customer data in a clear way. Your business will benefit when you can track sales, send out emails and mail shots to support marketing. And there's a useful finance element which you can use to track profitability per customer. Could that be useful for you?
Yes. finance tracking sounds really useful, and just what we need now we're growing and becoming more established. We need to stay on top of our numbers.
Well, the final price will depend on which solution you need. So we should come to that later, but I really believe it's a perfect solution for small businesses looking to become more professional.
How flexible is it, though?
It's fully customizable. With our support, you can tailor these to suit your specific needs.
Good. But it's not too complex, is it? Some of our people are a little older and not so confident with new systems.
Not a problem. We also provide intensive on-site training to make sure your people can use the software. How does that sound?
Sounds good. So, in principle, it sounds great, and what we've been talking about internally for some time, to be honest.
Are there any other questions I can answer right now?
Well, of course there's cost, and I think we need to see the product in more detail.
Absolutely. On the cost side, I think we need to see what precise solution you need, how much consulting work is needed from our side. I can't really give you a number at the moment, but it's very competitive. Is budget a major consideration for you?
It's an issue, of course, but we are growing, so it's more about what the software can deliver that is probably most important.
Okay, so what would be a useful next step?
I guess I need to see the product.
Yes, so how about if I come over, show you the product, talk to you more about what is right for you? I am absolutely certain that we have exactly what you need.
That sounds great.
Okay, would something in the afternoon next Wednesday work for you?
Yes, let me just take a look at my schedule here and see what we can arrange.
Unit 7, Recording 1.
Hi, Javier. Thanks for coming to see me at such short notice.
Sure, no problem. What's up?
Well, it's good you asked that. But I'm also surprised that you've had to ask. As you know, we are quite behind on this project and really need to catch up.
Yes, we do. We're all working flat out.
I know. But this also means we are all going to have to go beyond the scope of our usual roles. We're going to have to go the extra mile to support everyone on the project and get finished on time.
Okay, so what exactly does that mean?
Well, what that means exactly is that I need you to go to Japan to support the local team and make sure they're able to finish their part of the project on time.
That's not possible. I can't go.
I'm sorry, Javier. I know the timing of this might not be great for you, but you have to understand the project needs your expertise and we need you in Japan to provide support. You don't have to go for 2 to 3 weeks, but you do need to be there by the end of the month, okay?
The end of the month? That's simply unreasonable. It's far too short notice. No, I can't do it.
But Javier, we both know that your expertise is the most relevant in this situation.
I'm sorry, but I don't think expertise is the deciding factor here. You know everything I do. You should go instead of me. After all, you're the project leader, and if the project is late, it's up to you to get it back on track.
Okay, Javier, I'm sorry it's come to this. Let's take a break and then meet again in the cafe in 15 minutes and see what solution we can find.
Yeah, whatever.
Unit 7, Recording 2.
Hi, Javier. I'm sorry about earlier. Can we talk?
Why? What's the point? It seems to me that the decision has already been made.
So, what you're saying is you definitely won't go?
Well, I still don't think it's necessary for someone to go. We can just monitor the situation from here.
Yes, we could do that. But I think we can both agree that it is always better to offer real-time support in person in situations like this. And there won't be any delays due to time differences. You know, we often lose a day just replying to an email.
Okay, fine. But it doesn't have to be me that goes. Why can't Mia or Julio go instead?
Maybe. But I know we are both on the same wavelength about the experience. Yours is a lot better, both technically and also in driving local teams to hit productivity targets.
In other words, you don't want to send either of them and still want me to go?
Yes, that would be my preference.
I see. But it's unreasonably short notice. I have a lot of personal plans in the next month. There are 2 weddings I have to attend, as well as my father's 60th birthday.
Right, I see. Well, I understand your position and reluctance a bit more now. You usually enjoy traveling and experiencing new countries. I thought you'd jump at this chance when I first mentioned it.
That may be true, but Japan? I don't speak Japanese. And being there for a few days business trip might be okay, but for any length of time, I don't see how I could manage without Japanese.
Unit 7, Recording 3.
And anyway, a business trip of this length and importance would normally be planned months in advance.
That may be a fair point, Javier, but the situation is what it is now. And we need to talk about it and work out a way to make sure the project gets back on track.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
So, tell me your overall opinion about this issue the project is facing.
Well, I can see that it would help to have someone in Japan to offer support locally. And you're probably right that I'm the best person for the job. But it's just really inconvenient for me at the moment. How long do you have in mind, anyway?
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm not sure. Definitely a few weeks, maybe a month.
Okay. So from your point of view, it should take around a month of local support, right?
Yes, I should think so.
Let's talk through these personal events you have and see what we can work out.
Okay.
Well, let me first check a few of the things you've said.
Uh-huh.
So you've got 2 weddings and your father's 60th coming up, right?
Yes.
When are they?
Well, the first wedding is at the beginning of next month, on the 2nd. My father's 60th is on the 22nd. And the second wedding is a few days later, on the 25th.
Okay, let's work together and try to find a solution.
How can we? You want me to go there for a month?
Yes, but of course you won't be there for a full month without a trip home. How about if we postpone your departure by a few days so you can go to the first wedding?
Okay, that would be really helpful.
Good. And I'm open to other suggestions about how we can make the rest of it work for you.
Thanks. Well, if I get there by the 5th, that gives me about 2.5 weeks before my father's birthday.
Right. So what are you suggesting?
Well, what if I work really fast and hard and put in some long days and aim to have them back on track within 2.5 weeks and then I come back home?
Okay, that works for me. But do you think it's feasible?
I'm not sure. I need to look into the exact problems and reasons for the delay more, but I think so. And if they're not ready, I'll go back out around the 27th for another week or 2.
Okay, so what you were saying is you're willing to go back out there after the second wedding, if necessary?
Yes. I'm only willing to go out there if I can make all 3 personal events I have coming up. They're really important to me.
Sure. But you have to manage your time and tasks for the team in Japan so that they can manage without you there for the week in the middle.
Okay.
And about the language issue, we already have an interpreter based in the local office who is always available to support. And you'll have your own office in the main department, so you'll be close to everyone, and also to the general manager there.
That sounds good, thanks. But it'll be jumping in at the deep end. I really can't speak any Japanese.
That's great, Javier. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate your support with this.
And I'll appreciate you remembering this when it comes to my performance review at the end of the year.
Don't worry, I will. This is a good thing that can lead to more opportunities in future. You'll have good visibility with senior management, both here and in Japan.
Unit 8, Recording 1.
My trouble is I'm quite good at a lot of things. When I was studying at school, I didn't know which degree to do. My teacher advised me to follow my passion and study music, but my parents told me to study accountancy because I'm good at maths and I would have a better chance of getting a steady office job. Then, my best friend Piotr, who wanted to be an architect, suggested doing architecture with him so that we could study together. So I decided to go for architecture. The thing is, the first year was awful. It was really challenging and extremely competitive. To top it all, I found out too late that you had to study for ages before you qualified and were expected to work long hours. I was going to drop out of university altogether, but my older brother suggested I swapped subjects and studied for a degree like physics and played my music part-time. But my parents insisted that I should do accountancy.
Unit 8, Recording 2.
It was a tough decision, but in the end, I took my brother's advice because he knows me best. It was definitely a change for the better. Now I'm enjoying studying physics and I still get to play in my band at weekends. We're working on our first album and we'll probably have a gig at a festival this summer.
Unit 8, Recording 3. Ethan.
I'm the kind of person who likes to plan everything in advance. I don't like to leave my comfort zone, so I don't like changes. They make me very anxious. So when my boss told me she was leaving, I was upset. She was a great manager, very encouraging and very reliable. The company didn't replace her for a few months, although they promised us that it would be a smooth transition. I hate the feeling of uncertainty, you know. Eventually, management informed us that there wouldn't be a replacement and we had to share out the work in the IT department between us. They told us that we just had to get on with it. Frankly, I'm working long hours every day. I have more responsibility, but I'm not getting paid for it. I have to say, I'm finding it difficult to cope. To make things worse, nobody cares if you're doing a good job. They tell us we shouldn't be so resistant to change. At this rate, I'm going to have to find a new job or ask to change departments.
Pranali.
My friends tell me I'm a very flexible person, and I think I'm pretty good at adapting to change. I just get on with things, and I don't mind leaving my comfort zone. However, some changes are obviously more stressful than others, like moving house or having children. I had been working as a marketing director, but suddenly a lot of us were made redundant due to restructuring in the company. That was a major change for me, and it came at a bad time because we had just got a mortgage for our house. I was very low, and I didn't know what to do with myself for several months. Then my best friend suggested that I reinvent myself. He advised me to get a completely new career and get out of my comfort zone. So I decided to set up my own business as a management consultant. The first year was incredibly difficult, but I'm really happy because it's going so well. But I wouldn't have been able to do it if I hadn't had the support of my family and friends at the time.
Boontech.
We had to relocate university laboratories to a different city. It was a real upheaval. Not well planned at all. They had not anticipated the risks involved. It was chaotic. We had to move delicate equipment. Things got lost, and we were expected to do everything overnight. There was some kind of plan for relocation, but they sent it to us too late, and there were loads of last-minute changes. I could go on and on. Basically, Management had not consulted us. I realize change is sometimes necessary, but it's extremely important to have a shared purpose and for everyone to be informed. So, it came as no surprise when students and technicians complained that the new location was in the middle of nowhere, and clients were also annoyed. I have to admit, now that we've settled into the laboratories, I'm able to appreciate we're better off than before. We've got more light and space, and the equipment is all up to date. It takes time to adapt, doesn't it?
Letitia.
I was really looking forward to early retirement, and then when it actually happened, it was very disappointing. I used to enjoy my work. I was a product manager for household products. I suddenly missed my colleagues, and many of my friends were still working, so they didn't have the time to be with me. My husband, Juan, suggested going back to work. He suggested going back to work because I was becoming impossible to live with. It was then that I decided to retrain. So I became a Tai Chi instructor. I want to help people cope with stress. In fact, I've already promised my colleagues I'll give classes at my old company. Juan says it's given me a new purpose in life. It's great because I only work part-time and still have time to help look after our grandchildren.
Unit 8, Recording 4.
Welcome back, everyone. This morning, my first guest is Alessia Russo, a team leader in a major multinational company. She's here to talk to us about brainstorming. Good morning, Alessia.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Alessia, what is brainstorming?
Well, it's a process for generating ideas collectively and spontaneously.
And why is it useful?
Brainstorming generates ideas which other methods do not, due to the freedom it gives people to think creatively.
Okay. And can you tell our listeners how best to do it? Are there any best practice guidelines for brainstorming?
Well, there are no golden rules as such, but these 8 stages can definitely help you to have a successful brainstorming meeting.
Great, let's hear them.
So, number 1, define the goal, and 2, start with a question.
Just the one?
No, it could be several questions.
Okay.
Number 3, collect as many ideas as possible without evaluating them or commenting other than to thank each person for their ideas.
Okay, don't evaluate or comment on them.
4, put all of the ideas somewhere everyone can see them, for example on a board. Then you all decide how to group the ideas. 5, ask people to give more details about their ideas before evaluating any of them.
That's so you don't discount them before you understand the ideas fully, right?
Exactly. So 6, only at this point should you start to discuss, evaluate and build on the ideas. You will then be able to discard ideas, and this will lead to the next step, which is 7. Always end with some clear decisions.
Great, clear action points.
And finally 8. Thank everyone for participating. Even if some individuals didn't come up with the final idea, their presence helped to create the atmosphere that led to the outcome.
That's excellent. Thanks very much, Alessia.
It's been my pleasure.
Unit 8, Recording 5.
We're here today to address the challenges presented by the fast growth in our organization. As you know, we've grown from having 50 employees 3 years ago and largely having a national focus to now having around 200 employees and more international clients. These statements highlight the issues we're facing. We still have a very flat hierarchy and people have a lot of autonomy, but we need to introduce some structure in the way we manage our work, our teams, and our reporting lines. Let me outline the structure of this brainstorming session before we begin. I'll write up a series of questions around these issues for you to think about. For example, How can we bring more structure and focus to the way we work in teams and across teams without losing flexibility and spontaneity? These opening questions will help us to think about the main challenges ahead. After a phase of collecting ideas, we'll group them on the board here so we can bring them together. At the end of the session, it would be great if we could have a clear idea of some steps we can take. Let's see what progress we can make in 45 minutes. Okay? Let's get started. Remember, we're going for quantity of ideas here. The key is that we collect as many ideas as we can without judging or criticizing them. So feel free to introduce any idea or make any suggestion you like.
Unit 8, Recording 6.
Okay, everyone. I can hear that you're all still going strong and coming up with a lot of ideas, but I need us to keep an eye on the timing, so I have to stop you there. Can you please come up here with your ideas on the sticky notes and stick them to the board? Can we include them all at this point? And there is no right or wrong way to group them. Just do what you think fits best.
Okay, thanks, Sophia. Like these here?
No, over here. Put that one together with my one. We can start to form groups of topics.
Thanks, Lisa. Just so everyone's clear, let's think about process for a moment. How would you like to group them?
Well, I was thinking that if we see topics that are similar, we can start to group them together.
Sure, that's a good idea.
Firstly, thank you all for your ideas. It's great to see so many all grouped like that on the board. I don't want to assume what your ideas mean, so let's discuss them to help me understand your thinking better.
Great.
Okay. Okay.
Can we start with this group here? Whose idea is this one here?
That's my one.
Thanks, Sven. Could you expand on this point for us? What do you mean by daily stand-up?
Well, I mean that we could have a short meeting every day with all team members in a particular department. We keep the meeting quick and do it standing up. Everyone says what they're working on, if they need support, or have capacity to support others. And then we're finished after 10 to 15 minutes. I've seen this done in other companies.
That's a really interesting idea, Sven. Thanks. Let's go with that and maybe try it out next month.
Great. And adding to that idea, we could also update these tasks on the team status board for those who can't make the meeting.
Good idea, Marco. Let's have a look at some more. How about this one? Whose is this?
That's mine.
Thanks, Lisa. So, rotate team leaders. What does everyone think about that as an option? Does it need further discussion at this point?
I'm not sure. We tried that before Lisa joined us, so she couldn't have known. It was difficult and didn't really work. Though that doesn't mean it won't if we try it again.
Okay, let's park it for now, Sophia. And Sven, let's meet and you can tell me how it went last time.
Sure, Lisa.
Unit 8, Recording 7.
So, we've almost reached 45 minutes, and I'd like to finish on time as I know you're all busy. It's been a great session. Thanks, everyone, for your input.
Thank you, Sophia. It's been useful to think about these things.
Yes, thanks.
From me too.
Great. So, to review our main decision, are we all agreed that we're going to try the daily stand-up idea? And also these two other ones over here? We need to research the point about rotating team leadership a bit. Lisa, can you look into this and find some examples of how it can work in practice? Let's also do some further work on this middle group of ideas as a priority. Marco, can you look into that?
Sure, happy to.
Great. So let's meet again in 2 weeks and you can report back on these various actions. I'll send out a calendar invitation.